To a good speech is a relaxed audience, so we're going to start with the toast. There are obviously some very important people here tonight, and without them, none of this would be possible.
And as the evening progresses, hopefully we'll each get to spend a lot more time with them. So let's raise our glasses real high for a very special toast to the bar staff. No, just kidding, but one more time. The Mr. and Mrs. Preston Wright.
And to both sets of parents as well. I really do think this is going to work. You can get these two out of your house and redecorate the room.
Redecorate the room. I cried. This time works.
Preston gave us the great privilege and honor of being his best man today. And Tony and I can't say how happy we are to be able to speak at this joyous occasion, the wedding of Preston and Alyssa. And before I hand you back over to Tony, I just want to say a big, great job to the wedding party and to the bridesmaids especially for helping Alyssa today. I think we all will agree that Alyssa is the most stunning person in the room right now. Preston, on the other hand, just looks stunning.
Right now, I'd like to ask Alyssa and Preston to take part in our speech. Alyssa, will you please stick your left hand out in front of you? Preston, will you please place your right hand on top of Alyssa's? Now, do me a favor and keep your hands in that position for the remainder of the speech. Preston, trust me, you won't regret it. It's been an honor and privilege to be here on the happiest day of Preston's life, as he was there for mine. That's right, Preston stood by my side as we successfully installed my 60-inch HD flat screen. Best day of my life. But in all honesty, Preston was the best man at my marriage 5 years ago. And Preston really did a great job. I just want to let him know. And Preston, there's many reasons to get married. I just don't think revenge is one of them. But I've had a great time, and it's been a great honor and privilege to do this. Plus, Preston's already agreed I could do it again next time.
She's still smiling.
In doing research for the speech, I found out that the best speech makers follow 3 simple rules. Stand up, speak up, and very quickly shut up. However, if you guys know me, I have a little trouble with the shut up part. It's had a tendency to get me in trouble in the past. I'll do my best here tonight. I've also found out that I'm supposed to sing Preston's praises and tell you all about his good traits. However, I can't sing. How am I?
Oh, I definitely can't sing, and I'm pretty sure these people don't want to try. But we also learned in our research that it's important for the best men to get the groom to the ceremony on time. And we all know how Preston is for his timekeeping, so Alyssa, I just want to let you know that we made sure Preston got to bed at a decent time last night. And from what I hear, he slept like a baby.
Yeah, he woke up every 10 minutes crying and asking for his mom. As Joel mentioned, Preston's not really known for his timekeeping. After all, his motto is, why do something today if I could put it off till tomorrow? American. This wouldn't be such a bad thing if Preston could just make up his mind. However, yesterday at dinner when I asked him if he was indecisive about the wedding and all, he said he didn't know, but he'd let me know later.
And that's probably why he has 2 best men. They say that the groom's worst 5 minutes of the wedding is actually the best man's speech.
Alyssa, your worst 5 minutes came right after you realized you married Preston.
Instead of telling you a bunch of long, boring, drawn-out stories, Tony and I decided that we would give some marital advice to the newlyweds, followed by maybe a couple short stories. I don't know if we're the ideal people to be giving marital advice, but here's our words of wisdom to you.
My advice to you, Preston. Set the ground rules and establish exactly who's boss. Then do everything Alyssa says.
Yeah!
Marriage is a lot like football. You have to go in every day and give it everything you have. And make sure you score every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and sometimes Thursday. Remember, every time you give Alyssa flowers, she will remember to the second the last time you gave her flowers and exactly how bad you screwed up. And the fifth and most important piece of advice, there's 3 very important words you're going to have to remember the rest of your life, and those are, you're right, dear.
All right, Melissa, my advice to you. According to Cosmo, I'm not an avid reader of Cosmo, but according to Cosmo, a man worth marrying is a man who will treat you right and stand by your side. He will comfort you in times of trouble. He will shower you with gifts and compliments, and he will please you, or aim to please you, and grant your every request. And most importantly, Alyssa, make sure each man does not know the other men, and restock. No, I'm just kidding. Preston, you're a lucky guy today. You're marrying Alyssa. She's smart, funny, caring, and she really deserves a great husband. Just be glad she married you before she got Okay, well, while thinking of stories that I could tell you about me and Preston's past, there definitely was a long, long, long list of them. So I decided to kind of tell you what role I played in his life and the role he played in my life. I've known him for about 10 years. I met him through Tony, and we were pretty good friends, but it was about 3 years ago. He showed up on my doorstep, tears in his eyes, duffel bag in hand, saying he was an orphan. So I decided to let him in, wiped his tears, and decided that I'd take him under my wing. I taught him some important life lessons, like how to cook, clean, do laundry, pay bills on time. Just and it worked out pretty good. The cooking part, so-so, Alyssa, but from what I understand out there, has some issues. But the rest of it is a work in progress, and I'm just going to say good luck. Preston, it's been awesome having you as a friend. And those last 3 years we lived together, I could say we grew close, probably close as brothers. So, it's awesome to do this for you today, and I'm very happy for you. I can remember the day you met Alyssa and how happy you were. It's awesome. But this is going to be awesome. I'm excited for this journey you guys have. I'm a phone call away if you ever need me.
For those of you that know me, I'm a little bit over the top, so bear with me. But, with no disrespect to Jill and Jim, Preston's parents, me and Joel feel like we've been Preston's parents away from home. After all, we've seen him drink from the bottle, stagger around in his boxers, we've had to help him walk many times, we've had to put him to sleep. But I just want to let you all know, when it came to writing this speech, I was definitely not short of material, that's for sure. But after I had to edit, burn, or hand over to the police what was left over to help with their investigations, this is all I have left, so here we go. Me and Preston met through our mutual love of baseball. I played on his team, and I was there when he set his mark on the baseball field. That's right, Preston rewrote all the record books. Most home runs given up. Worst looking swing. Worst batting average. Most MIPs. Most women he convinced that he'd someday be making lots of money playing baseball. But I'd really like to just give you guys kind of like an insight of me and Preston's relationship. We've been friends for probably 13 years now. And he's always been there for me. He's always had my back. Like, back in the day, I used to get in a fight or two. Preston usually caused it by something you said or did, and I was usually just protecting him. But there would sometimes be 2, 3, 4 big guys. Preston always had my back, that's right. He'd be in his car with the windows rolled up, doors locked, engine started, ready for a quick getaway in case I ever made it out of that pile of lies. I also want to let you all know about Preston's great words of advice. He always had some good ones. Like when we took a little trip to Liberal, Kansas. You guys know where the yellow brick road is. Preston convinced me that taking 14 beers out of a beer bong in under 30 seconds was a great idea. Now my memory gets a little foggy from that point on, but from what people have told me and little flashes of memory, the night was epic, so here we go. Preston somehow convinced me that jumping over a barbed wire fence so I could drunk skip on the yellow brick road was a great idea. He didn't tell me there was an open gate, just 5 yards over. Something also happened where we flooded the room and I ended up losing a bet doing sit-ups and push-ups in my boxers. It wasn't good. But I also want to let you all know about how encouraging Preston is. Like how the very next day we got a flat tire in my mom's minivan. You guys all know how teenagers are. We know everything. However, we didn't know how to get the spare off the bottom of the minivan. And with no service in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, Preston encouraged me that I could easily run to the last town. After all, it was only 10 miles away. And he convinced me I was in the best shape of my life. So as I set upon my journey and got back from my marathon, I also found out how good Preston is at making friends. You guys all know. Great friends. Like how he pulled over a car. He didn't send him to come pick me up, or to help fix the flat tire, or maybe even get us to the next town. But he did talk him out of a six-pack. I also want to let you guys know how giving Preston is. Like after my big marathon run, Preston saved one of those 6 beers just for me. Thanks, man.
I spoke to both Preston and Alyssa before the wedding, and I asked them one question. I said, what are you looking to get from this marriage, from this wedding? I asked Preston first, and he replied, well, love, happiness, and eventually a family. When I asked Alyssa the same question, she said, well, if someone gives us Rockies tickets as a gift.
Now, some of you might be wondering why I asked Preston and Alyssa to take part in our speech. You guys still have your hands together, great. It is with great honor that me and Joel have given Preston the last 10 minutes in which he will ever have the upper hand over Alyssa. Now, the final and most important task is to know when to shut up. So as I look over the audience and I see my wife completely embarrassed, I know my time is up. But I just want to let you guys know that Preston, you've always been a great friend, and me and Joel are always only a phone call away. And Alyssa, you are truly lucky to have had him.
All right, and as Tony said, we're honored and privileged to be your best man today. And really, we couldn't ask for a better friend to be best man for. And aside from Alyssa being the most beautiful, today she is also the luckiest girl here today. Just want to keep your relationship focused on God. Keep Him as your focal point and your foundation, and He will bless you.
So please, everybody stand and raise your glasses.
Mr. and Mrs. Preston Rutherford.